Sound exists as the literal displacement of air, a chain reaction of molecules pushing against one another in a continuous, rhythmic wave. But the moment those waves enter the ear canal and hit the eardrum, that physical movement translates into something entirely private. It becomes an intensely personal psychological experience inside your mind. Think of the near silence of a pleasant early morning. The first delicate acoustic events of the day enter our awareness with incredible subtlety, much like the gentle brushing of a drumstick across a snare. Because these vibrations physically enter our bodies and anchor us to specific moments in time, our morning acoustic environment dictates our psychological baseline for the hours ahead. Yet the modern habit is to immediately rupture that initial quiet. We wake up, and before even leaving the bed, we reach for a smartphone. Our cognitive barriers haven't fully booted up in those first few moments. For roughly 2 hours after waking, our mental defenses are at their lowest point of the day. Turning to the internet, specifically algorithm-driven platforms like YouTube, floods the brain with uncurated audio. This content frequently carries a specific toxicity that bypasses those dormant defenses. Passively consuming this digital audio during the vulnerable dawn window leaves an unprotected mind defenseless against the manufactured anxieties of the outside world. Daily sound consumption falls into 3 spheres. The first contains positive sounds, grounding morning noises that set a stable, optimistic foundation. Outward is the second sphere, duty-bound sounds. This rhythmic pulse of modern life includes coffee machines and workplace notifications. While the first sphere heals, and the second demands the operational energy for the day, neither is inherently dangerous. Together, they form the necessary acoustic baseline of existence. Then there is the third sphere, negative sounds. This layer is dominated by media using language designed to evoke crisis, anguish, and despair. An uncritical listener absorbing this auditory diet will deduce that the world is nearing total collapse, despite what they see out their own window. This heavy, negative energy rarely originates in our direct experience. It is manufactured and served up by social media algorithms. The core economic principle driving this toxic environment is simple: fear sells. It keeps us tuned in, validating a worldview of escalating threats. This manufactured state of alarm has physical manifestations: disproportionate global military budgets and nuclear weapons. This hardware exists only because of a shared, deep anxiety. Allowing this third sphere to dominate your morning audio diet hijacks your nervous system. It disconnects you from immediate reality and plugs you into a global economy of panic. To break this cycle, we have to deliberately transition our acoustic environment back toward peaceful, uplifting inputs. The avant-garde composer Pierre Schaeffer spent his life analyzing how we interact with audio. He argued that sound operates as the fundamental vocabulary of nature. Re-engaging with this vocabulary through poetry and uplifting music allows us to move toward a more peaceful state, elevating our worldview toward nature and self-awareness. We have to stop acting as passive victims of digital noise and take on the role of active conductors over our own psychological states. The protocol starts first thing in the morning. Upon waking, sit in complete silence for several minutes. Leave the phone alone. Treat this period of initial silence like a symphony orchestra deliberately tuning its instruments before a grand performance. Slowly, deliberately, focus on the quiet, refined acoustic byproducts of your morning: the water filling the basin, the percolating coffee, the rustle of fabric as you get dressed. This deliberate acoustic preparation builds the exact mental clarity and confidence required to face the inevitable negative onslaught of the digital day. The poet Lord Byron observed the hidden acoustic potential of the physical world, writing, "There is music in all things, if men had ears." Mastering your morning soundscape builds clarity. The once hostile noise of modern life settles into its proper place, no longer a source of panic, but a manageable part of a larger, balanced